You know, you're all in a helping profession. So as wonderful as you are, as much as you help the community and share your strengths, you're behind the 8 ball. Because you already are people who like to help and don't like to say no. Dirty word, isn't it? Don't like to say no. Not nice to say no. Not good team effort to say no. So today what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you some tips and some tricks and some pointers on how to mind your own business. You're not going to look to the future and you're not going to look to the past. You're going to keep into the present. You're going to get rid of all that stuff that clutters up your past. You're going to take tiny steps and realize how important it is to have everything neat and tidy in your life, because only then can you start to mind your own business without everything else going around you. Do you feel a sense of peace when you go into your office? Does anybody feel a sense of peace when they go into their office? No. Not a lot of hands here today, are there? My gracious. Do you feel a sense of peace when you go into your home? Ah, good, we're getting somewhere. You deserve to feel a sense of peace when you go into your office and when you go into your home. Because once you have everything decluttered, then and only then can you manage your time and do what you have to do, which is mind your own business. Do you know that you spend 7 years sleeping, 6 years eating, 5 years in line, 4 years cleaning house, not 3 years in meetings. Now I'm going to get a show of hands. How many people can tell me that all the meetings they go to are really good meetings? They get something out of it, they're profitable, they're viable. Hands? Oh, they're on that. Do you know that people prefer to go to funerals and meetings? Now, what is that? Because at a funeral, people say nice things. There is a definite deadline, and you get fed. Once I start talking to people, they've always had something cluttering up their life. And it's been niggling at them. You know that little gut instinct? You know that gut feeling? And when I start to talk to them about it, and they start to analyze and contemplate their navel, they say to me, oh my God, how come I haven't done anything about this? And I allow them to do something about it, and it's just so freeing, it's unbelievable. So you must get rid of clutter. But why is it so hard to get rid of clutter? Clutter represents things that we work for, things that we live for. It represents material things, and to get rid of it is to get rid of a piece of ourselves. But you know what? We can't hold on to the past because clutter dishonors the past. It doesn't give you any opportunity to go towards the future. So start getting rid of your clutter. Easier said than done. First of all, you set a goal, just like you do everything else. Now you have the structure for your life. You're going to declutter your life. Then you decide that you're going to get rid of what is dishonoring you. So if you have trouble talking about the mission statement for your company, you're going to have trouble talking about the mission statement for yourself. But that's something you have to create. What do I stand for? What do I want to be? Who can I emulate? When am I weak? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I'm going to sit and take some time to contemplate my navel. I know my roles. I'm going to think about things very deeply. And then I'm going to look at my values. Where do you think we get our values? Parents? Where else? Society? Excellent. Do our values change over time? Definitely, don't they? And are our values ever compromised? Definitely. But we have to know what our basic values are, because you see, because we're floating around in this universe, because we have so much to do, because we are totally unproductive, we are losing our structure. We don't have a structure in life. So if we don't know who we are, where we're going, what we're doing, and what values we have, and we don't set goals to align ourselves with those, then we are floating around in the universe. And that's why we are not minding our own business. So the first thing you must do is sit and analyze, what roles do I play in life? What roles are important for me to play at this particular time? And what roles can I afford to give up? The second thing we want to do is we want to really sit and contemplate our navel and analyze who we are, where we're going, and what we're doing. Now, what happens when we go to a party? We go to a party, we meet people at a party, don't we? And what do we say? We say, how do you do? What's the next question? What do you do? Now, is it all about what do you do? Isn't it all about who are you? But can you imagine if I went up to someone at a party and said, how do you do? Who are you? They'd look at me and they'd say, oh, she's had a few, and I think we're going to stay away from this woman. How many people have been involved in the high-tech meltdown over the past 10 years? Anybody? Okay, CBC had an interview on the radio and a whole discussion about the fact that a lot of people who had lost their jobs in high-tech didn't want to go to parties. Because people said, what do you do? Instead of saying, who are you? How many people set goals here? Good, okay? And how many people keep to the goals, especially if they're the ones at Christmas and New Year's where we aren't going to eat any more donuts? Yes, definitely, good for you. So if we're going to be setting goals, we have to make them very positive. We have to make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. We should let others know our goals. I'm going on a diet tomorrow, so if you see me with a donut within the next 6 months, okay, you let me know that that's not really according to my goals. We have to break down our goals into small little bits, don't we? Because otherwise they seem overwhelming, and we've already got enough to overwhelm us in our life. So we have our values, we have our mission statement, we have our goals. We've started to set a structure for minding our own business. Good for us. And one of the biggest things that you have to do is you have to reward yourself. You have to reward yourself for coming here today, for being such wonderful community builders, for being such wonderful community leaders, for sharing your strength, for listening to this talk, because hopefully you're going to get something out of it. We always have to reward ourselves for everything that we do.